and sub-regional community. We're going to get started now. The bow to our heavenly parents and true parents. 천진 참부모님께 경배 바로. And now we will read the family pledge. Today represents the 6th day of creation. So we'll read family pledge number 6 in Korean, then in English. 6. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참선한 걸 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 참부모님의 대신 가정으로서 전원을 움직이는 가정이 되어 하늘의 축복을 주변에 연결시키는 가정을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 6. Our family, the owner of Cheonilguk, pledges to become a family that moves heavenly fortune by embodying the heavenly parent and true parents, and to perfect a family that conveys heaven's blessings to our community by centering on true love. Okay, disconnected for a second now. And now for opening prayer, I'd like to invite up Irmgard Baines, if she's here. Irmgard, there she is, Irmgard Baines.
Yes, sorry. Put my video on. Morning, everyone. And good morning, dear Heavenly Parent, and good morning, true parents of heaven, earth, and humankind. Yes, it's a beautiful morning, and we have such beautiful spring weather these last days, cool in the night and warm and sunny during the day. For me, that is such the perfect temperatures. So I'm so grateful for this time. Dear Heavenly Parent, on behalf of everyone gathered here, we thank you for your hand who guides human history and our personal life. And I pray that we are always sensitive and aware that we can feel your guiding hand, Heavenly Parent. Thank you for this opportunity to come together in the morning, to gather our thoughts, and I'm so grateful that we are reading or listening together to our true parents, to our true mother's memoirs. We heard so many precious, so many precious words and memories by our true mother. And at the same time, she highlighted so many important aspects of how you work in our lives, how you worked in her life, how you work throughout human history. And yesterday we read about, or the last days, about the Sanhak Peace Prize, where our true mother focused or pointed out very basic needs and rights and blessings for every human being which are not met. And she honors people who are very concerned about it and did and do things about that. Nobody should be hungry. We should really protect our environment because it sustains our life and it was created by you, Heavenly Parent, for us. No human's dignity should be violated. And it happens so much still in our world. And how can we contribute? We talked about that together with some brothers and sisters in a breakout room. And we came to the conclusion that in our own personal life, to heal our wounds, to always lean on you, seek your guidance, and give of ourselves, and let peace reign in our hearts, in our families, and do right by our neighbors where we are involved, in our profession, in our family most of all. So thank you for this time we have to hear again from our true mother, to greet each other and to hear our gratitudes. And please bless this day. Especially, I want to send blessings to our true parents, our true mother in Korea, our true father in the spirit world, and to our brothers and sisters who are gathering in Las Vegas to unite in heart with you, with our true mother and each other. I offer this prayer together with my husband in our names as the Vains Blessed Center family. Aju.
Aju. Thank you, Armgard, for such a beautiful, beautiful prayer to open us up today. And now we're going to go into our gratitude sharing. So just take a moment to think about what you are grateful for. Are you grateful for anything? Find something, share with whoever you're paired up with, and we'll be back here to share with everyone else. See you all soon. I'm still waiting for them, but don't worry. We will get that shortly. There we go. Welcome back, everyone. Hope you had a wonderful, wonderful sharing in your breakout. I had the pleasure of being with our BB couple, the BB. So, BBs, if you please unmute and share with us your gratitude this
Good morning.
morning. Good morning.
I wish I had a recording of everything I said. I went through a lot of different things, but anyway, just essence is I was really grateful. I think the last part of what I said, I'm very grateful to know that our leaders gathering in Las Vegas and Shen Ping Wang and praying first before doing anything, any further direction here for our movement. And that I really felt I really have confidence in Dr. Dunkley, his leadership, even though we're sad that Dr. Young has left. But he did his job. I felt that his mission was to just wake us up and shake us up and bind us together more deeply, perhaps than ever before. And now on that foundation, Dunkley can lead us forward. And I have confidence in his leadership because first thing he said, we're going to pray first before we do anything, seek God's guidance. But also I felt that he's very vertically connected through True Mother. And I really have confidence that God will work through him to bring our movement here to a new level and help America to fulfill its providential role of the Sun Nation. So that's my gratitude this morning.
Good morning. I'm really grateful to be here in morning gathering or morning devotion or into K. And this morning I'm grateful for all the young leadership. Really, it's so inspiring to me. And also I really feel like Damien. And as Bob was speaking, I didn't say this before, but I got this kind of feeling, that this is how George Washington, right? With Reverend Dunn. So maybe that's grateful because we're also taking a trip, walking to DC, helping our students understand the country that they live in and the workings of government and what we do as a nation to respect and to care for and to develop, our own country and what is the purpose of our country. And so I'm grateful to have that opportunity to gather together with parents and students to do this. So that's my gratitude. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you, Aunt Karen. Thank you, Dr. BB, for sharing with us your gratitude. And with that, we're going to go on to our Hundoke today. As you all know, we are continuing on with the Mother of Peace. That is our Hundo text, and we'll continue on with our Godable reading. So let's open our hearts and minds to receive from our True Mother.
Welcome to Mother of Peace, and God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes. A memoir by Hak Jahan Moon, a production of the Washington Times Global Media Group, narrated by Alison Hiroto. Chapter 2. I came into this world as the only begotten daughter. A tree with deep roots. When I gently closed my eyes and listened to the harsh winds blowing through the cornfield, it sounded like thousands of horses running in the wilderness. It captured the dynamic spirit of Goguryeo nights galloping powerfully across the continent. At other times, if I listened quietly, I would hear another kind of sound, the affectionate hoo-hoo of scops owls in the high branches of trees deep in the mountains. I remember those summer nights when I fell asleep holding my mother's hand, with the sound of hooting owls echoing in my ears. More than 70 years have passed, but the beautiful scenery and soothing sounds of Anju remain in my heart. My hometown holds many beautiful memories for me, and I want to go back there. One day, I will certainly return home. When I was born, my father, Han Sung-un, had a dreamlike vision. He saw bright sunlight beaming into a thick grove of pine trees. The light fell on 2 cranes that were dancing together in harmonious affection. He decided to name me Hakja, which means crane child. I am a member of the Han clan of Cheongju in North Chuncheong Province, the clan's historical birthplace. Chuncheong means center of the heart that is pure and clear, and Cheongju means clear village. When the water in a river or the sea is clear, one can see the fish swimming all the way to the bottom. Likewise, the hearts of my ancestors that lived in the town of Cheongju were pure and humble through and through. The Chinese character for my family name, Han, has various meanings. It can mean one, symbolizing God. It can also mean big, as in large enough to embrace all created things in the universe, and full, meaning overflowing abundance. The founding father of the Han clan, Han Lan, was honored as a loyal patriot of the kingdom of Goryeo. The king of Korea would recognize persons of civic virtue and reward them with land and a perennial stipend. The court recorded their names in a book of honor, and there is an entry for Han Lan. Han Lan's story is this. He built a bureau for agricultural administration in a district of Cheongju called Pongsudong, and turned a large expanse of land into productive farmland. When a war between Korean rulers broke out, Hwang Gun, a nobleman and military general, passed through Cheongju on his way to do battle with Kyonhwan, the king of Hubekje. Han Lan greeted Hwang Gun, fed his army of 100,000 soldiers, and joined him on the battlefield. Once Hwang Gun became king, he declared Han Lan a loyal patriot. Han Lan's reputation as a founding contributor to the kingdom has endured through the ages. 33 generations after Han Lan, I was born of his lineage. The numbers 3 and 33 are significant. Jesus asked 3 disciples to pray with him in Gethsemane. He prophesied that Peter would betray him 3 times before the cock crowed. Rejected of men, Jesus was crucified at the age of 33, yet he promised to return. He was one of 3 who were crucified on that day, to one of whom he said, "Today you will be with me in paradise." On the 3rd day, Jesus rose from the grave. The number 3 signifies heaven, earth, and humankind. It signifies the perfect fulfillment of both heavenly law and natural law. The Korean people are descended from the Dong-i race, a wise people who studied the stars and were able to ascertain heavenly fortune. They developed a prosperous agriculture-based culture, worshipped God, and loved peace from the time before Christ. The Dong-i people established kingdoms based on the name Han. Some people, including my husband, cite records that show that the Han people predate the Gojoseon era, which is considered to be the first Korean kingdom. Korea's founding legend, called the Dangun legend, says we were chosen as the descendants of heaven according to the deep will of God. Our people are also called the Pedal race. The Chinese characters for Pe and Dal signify brightness and brilliance. That attribution recognizes our reverence for God and love of peace and serenity. To this day, Korea is known as the land of the morning calm. Still, the Korean people's 5,000-year history is filled with deep sorrow. Foreign powers constantly marched through Korea, trampling us like wild grass and leaving us stripped like the bare branches of a tree in the coldest of winters. But we never lost our roots. We overcame foreign invasions with wisdom and patience and survived as a nation, and of this we are proud. One cannot help but wonder why God allowed this people to suffer such great hardships. I believe it was to prepare a people to whom He could entrust a great mission. We learn from the Bible that God's chosen people always endure great adversity. On the foundation of Noah, Abraham, and other providential figures, God prepared the people of Israel as the ones to whom He could send the Messiah, Jesus Christ. Facing rejection, God had to allow Jesus to suffer great trials and hardship and to finally offer His life on the cross. 2,000 years later, God chose the Korean people and entrusted to them His only begotten Son and only begotten daughter, the ones who can receive God's first love. God needed a man and a woman who could endure suffering and rejection while continuing to forgive and love all people, thus revealing God's heart of parental love. So, too, God needed a nation capable of enduring suffering for the sake of all nations. God prepared the Korean people for this. Many peoples have suffered and disappeared from history, but the Koreans endured. Thus God entrusted this people with a noble mission. As a hen embraces her brood. When I was born, earth was groaning with anguish as a battleground in which people shed each other's blood. People dwelled in extreme confusion and darkness and heartlessly exploited each other. As part of this wretched mosaic, the Korean peninsula suffered indescribable torment under a Japanese occupation that lasted 40 years, from the 1905 Usalnungyuk, a protectorate treaty between Korea and Japan, until our liberation in 1945. I was born during that period of oppression. I was born in 1943 in Anju, South Pyongan Province, of what is now North Korea, at 4:30 a.m. on February 10th of the solar calendar, and the 6th day of the first lunar month of that year. I remember clearly the address of my home, 26 Shinwiri Anjuup, which has been renamed Chilsongdong, in what is now the city of Anju. My home was not far from the center of the village, and the surrounding neighborhood had a very warm and cozy feeling, as if we were chicks cuddled under a mother hen. Unlike the thatched roof houses nearby, my house had a tile roof and a big front porch. Behind it rose a small, verdant hill covered with chestnut and pine trees. Beautiful flowers bloomed, and colorful leaves fell with the rhythm of the seasons, and I heard every kind of bird singing and chirping together. When spring warmed the earth, yellow forsythias smiled brightly between the fences, and azaleas bloomed red on the hill. A small stream flowed through our village, and except when it froze solid in midwinter, I could always hear the laughing sound of the water. I grew up enjoying the happy sounds of the birds and the stream, as if they were a choir of nature. Even now, thinking of life in my hometown is like snuggling into a cozy and heartwarming mother's embrace. This memory brings tears to my eyes. Between our house and the hill, we had a small cornfield. When the corn was ripe, the husks would crack and yellow kernels of corn would appear through the long, silky hair. My mother would boil the ripened corn, put a generous number of cobs in a bamboo basket, and call our neighbors to come and eat. They would come into our house through the gate built from sticks, sit in a circle on our porch, and eat cobs of corn with us. I remember wondering why their faces did not look very bright, even though they were gratefully eating a delicious meal. Thinking about it years later, I realized these people were impoverished due to the severe exploitation of the occupying government. I would squeeze in between the grown-ups and try to eat the kernels off a small cob of corn. But, as a small child, I was never successful. Noticing me, my mother would smile gently, break off some yellow kernels from her cob, and put them into my mouth. I remember the sweet corn kernels rolling around in my mouth as if it were yesterday.
Thank you for listening to Godable. Visit motherofpeacebook.com to purchase the complete audiobook. Godable is made possible by listeners like you. To donate, visit godable.org.
All right, so that was our Hundok reading for today. And to share a quick reflection on it, I'd like to call upon our pastor, Naokimi Shiroda.
Morning, brothers and sisters, to another day. Yes, I'm in Las Vegas, as I mentioned yesterday. We've been here for a couple days, and we just kind of completed hearing from Damien, and we're about to welcome another group of people, about 30 to 40. First group was just the former sub-regional directors, but now we're going to welcome a bunch of other leaders to kind of go through and process some of the content that Damien has to share. So that's a little bit about what's happening here. In terms of the Hundok reading, I think it is definitely connected because basically what Damien is sharing about is on Mother's heart. So it's been quite an experience so far. A few things stood out to me this morning. The first is even the title of the chapter, really Mother boldly and clearly stating her own identity as the only begotten daughter. And I think I remember processing, when she first declared this statement back in 2014. It was actually in Las Vegas, and it was in front of some clergy members, and also at the same time that the Cranes Club was inaugurated, same day actually. So I didn't quite understand it, and then when she continued to share this understanding over and over again, it really made me think about why she was saying this. And I think many people also, questioned or wondered on the same point. So I was asking, kind of repeating in my mind, isn't there a more or a better PR way of doing this? Especially because she was declaring it directly to clergy several times. And for me, what came as a response, again, I think each person probably has their own experience of kind of processing this. But for me, when I asked the question of why she was continually sharing about her identity as the only begotten daughter, what came was that basically I heard, because I told her to. And once that thought entered my mind, I was like, okay, I guess if it's your will, then sure, that's fine. I'm sure there's deeper understanding, which I'm also continually exploring and looking. But that answer was satisfactory for me, and kind of giving her the benefit of the doubt that this is part of God's will at this time. And then it really requires us to reflect more deeply on why that is. So I know for some it's a threatening statement, and if that is the case, then it means that it requires deeper reflection on why that is. And so I think there's a lot of spiritual searching that is being kind of indirectly imposed. And so it really challenges us to go back to what do we believe? So I think it's actually a healthy spiritual practice to reflect on this topic. So another point that stood out in this morning's message was about her emphasis on the ancestry and the Korean origin. She shared in many different ways that the Korean people are people of honor. They really honor God. And also she emphasized a lot about the suffering that the Korean people went through. And I think that was all to really emphasize the kind of foundation of heart that the people has gone through in order to really be the chosen people of this day and age, and to be able to receive, as she stated, the only begotten daughter. Maybe a couple more points. One interesting line that stood out to me also was when she described Jesus's crucifixion, she said, "Rejected of men, Jesus was crucified." I thought that was an interesting distinction. Said that the men were the ones who rejected Jesus, and that's what allowed him to be crucified. So it kind of made me think about, there is this kind of antagonistic energy, I guess, that sometimes men display, and Jesus was also a threat to them in one way or another, and hence he was crucified. So anyway, just something to think about. But that line was really stood out, something I didn't quite hear before, this kind of specificity there. And the final thing is, very detailed description of her hometown and nature, and just it's a different approach to telling stories, but a lot of details. But I could tell she's really, she does pay attention to details, and she feels really connected to her hometown. So those are the thoughts from this morning's Hundoke. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Pastor Nakimi, for your reflection, sharing a lot of insights there, also on the updates from Las Vegas. And with that, we're going to go into our breakouts now. Now is our time to share anything that came up for you during today's Hundoke. So we'll be back here to share with everyone else in 6 minutes. See you all soon. Welcome back, everyone. Hope you had a wonderful sharing in your breakout. I was with Yisa and Masumi Russell. I'd like to invite up Masumi-san. If you could please unmute and share with us your reflection from today's morning devotion.
Sorry, I wasn't in the breakout room early enough, so I couldn't hear what Is was sharing. But through Two Mothers' memoir, all the details about Two Mothers' hometown, I can really connect her loving heart of her hometown, the very detail of surrounding environment of her hometown. And it's so, her understanding is very deep and profound. And yeah, I would like to hear less Fred. You explain about the Two Mothers memoir.
Thanks for sharing, Masumi-san. Thank you. All I said was Mother talks about creating a church that's like a mother's warm embrace, right? And within today's Hundoke, Mother describes her own hometown as feeling like a mother's warm embrace. So maybe we need to look to our hometown description and have maybe rivers and owls within our churches. Kind of joking, but in a sense, just make it a place that is kind of a resemblance of Mother's hometown. That was most of what I shared. And that's all the time we have for reflections today. And in terms of announcements, no new announcements. As President Alkimi said, a new kind of set of leadership are going to Las Vegas. There's not much space at all, pretty much, because we have the Japanese 7-day workshop happening in conjunction with this as well. But so I'll be there tomorrow, but we'll be live from Las Vegas, just like Naokimi is. So we'll get a taste of the Jeonsong. Naokimi is putting the morning devotion right now. So with that, that about wraps it up. To close out in prayer, I'd like to call on actually Jim Edgerly. Uncle Jim, do you mind closing us out in prayer?
Well, Res Fred, thank you for the honor of offering this prayer. Please join me in prayer. Our beloved Heavenly Parent, creator of all things, it is such a joy to begin this gorgeous June morning in your presence and in the presence of our brothers and sisters. We gather here and we have such warm memories of our time with Dr. Young, which is a treasure to all of us. We thank you for his ministry. And it is equally joyful to see the same faces, beautiful, blessed faces of our community, Father, which we are so grateful for, and we treasure it, and we want so much to share it during this new era. It's a new era for me, Heavenly Parent, a new era to find a new way of evangelism, a new way of building Chanilguk. We don't want to be stuck in the past. We want to look forward with pride and expectation. And we want to become better, better and better at sharing your heart through our words, through our family's presence, through our service, through offering others to join in our community, through music, through adventure in our life. We are optimistic, Father, about your presence in this country, growing and bringing rebirth through our true mother and this ministry now led by Reverend Dunkley. We begin this day with optimism, with hope, with joy and with an appreciation that we can gather today to hear these words. And most of all, Father, with a deep humility and love, knowing that you are our parent, that you have been so patient and generous and forbearing with us, that you are so aware, Father, of all those things you have created. We have such tender feelings toward you. We spend this day, Heavenly Parent, with the joy and the enthusiasm of being your incarnations. Thank you, Father, for this morning. We offer this prayer in the name of the James and Kenya Edgerly Blessed Central family. Adieu.
Adieu. Adieu. Thank you, Uncle James, for closing us out with such a beautiful, beautiful prayer. And that about wraps up today's morning devotion. Today represents day 6. So what do you think happened today? It's the land animals and humans. So today you were created. How about that? So take a moment to appreciate maybe your pets, the animals around you, and your human beings around you too. Have a wonderful rest of your day, everyone. We'll see you all tomorrow. Bye. See you all.
Have a good day,
Bye,
everyone.
everybody.
Thank you,
Bye.
Pastor. Thank you, Pastor Noah.
Bye.
NJ family.
Bye.
Bless you all.
Ourselves.
Bless you.
Appreciate yourselves. That's
Good morning
important.
too.
Thank you everyone for being here.
Everybody.
Good
morning, Uncle
Nana.
Oh, good to see you, Bampo. Good to see you, Uncle Chris.
Have a great day.
Happy spiritual birthday.
Congratulations, James. Today's spiritual birthday.
Have a beautiful day. Happy June 1st.
Happy spiritual birthday.
Thank you, everybody.
Good morning, Sugar
Happy
Hour.
birthday, Uncle James.
Thank you.
Everybody.
Good morning.
Bless you.
Tony.
God bless you. Have a great day.
Oh, Sugawara. Good morning.
Right.
All right, we're gonna close this Zoom room now in 5,
Oh, done.
4,